Before you watch this video, I need to warn you. I don't know what I'm doing. If you're squeamish to blood, click away now. Because at some point in this video, this is going into this. This is not a tutorial. This is not something that you should watch if you're trying to learn how to change your Joy-Con cases or your Pro Controller case, because the only thing you'll learn is that I'm an idiot. This was a really, really bad idea. But I filmed it, so here it is. New year, new Switch, new me, new everything, because it's 2019. Thank you all for joining me on this, my very first video of the year. I took the last few days off to relax and de-stress after a very action-packed December, but I'm back with a very exciting video. At least for me, maybe, I don't know. So what am I doing in this video, you might be asking? Well, it's something a little different, not only for my channel, but for me as a human being. I am going to be attempting to replace these Joy-Cons, which have been my Joy-Cons since the Switch launched, so they are very worn out and disgusting looking. I'm going to be attempting to replace the casing of these Joy-Cons with this nifty purple casing, which I'm very excited about. I'm also going to try and replace my Pro Controller with this really awesome Pikachu and Eevee inspired casing for the Pro Controller, obviously. So I'm going to do my best. I might give up on this halfway through. We'll see. I'm going to show some of the process as I go, but for the most part, what you're going to need is a hammer. Any kind of hammer is going to do. You're going to need a mallet, a stud finder, so you don't end up drilling into the wrong place. And I drilled into my finger. Fortunately, I kind of drilled like up and down, but it's very swollen. A pair of scissors. Oh, and just in case you lose some screws, just like a tub of rusty old screws that you find around the house. Any of them will do. All right, so the first step is actually getting the Joy-Cons off of the Switch in the first place. So you see there's this little button behind here that you press to remove the Joy-Con. The first step is to go ahead and just drill straight into that. There's a screw behind it, so. Okay, first step is to get this battery out. One thing that's really cool is this kit has everything you'll need. Every tool to get, and that's why there's so many things. It's kind of daunting at first, but it's really awesome when you get to taking it all apart. I'll leave links to everything down below. Battery out. Well, you know, we're going places. Going somewhere. Don't copy me. Like, wait, even if I get this right, don't copy me. This is so scary. I've never ever done anything like this. It's kind of weird. I'm a really sentimental person, and I'm starting to realize, you know, exactly what I'm doing. You know, this is my original Switch, and it's technically broken right now. Like, until I fix it, it's broken. And even when I fix it, it's never gonna be the same. Starting to think maybe I should have just bought new Joy-Cons and changed those ones and kept my originals. But we're this far in at this point. New year, new me, new Switch. All right, how do I disconnect this little part from the board here? Probably just have to... Okay, so at this point, you have to find the stud, so you can drill one of these screws into it that you just find around the house. Find the stud, find the... There he is. Why am I doing this? Why does this hurt me so much? Why? We are up to my fun part, at least, which is putting these new thingamajiggies back on. All right, so first step is probably gonna be putting in my buttons. This part I could easily screw up. I could easily put this all together and find out that I put the buttons in wonky. And I'm definitely the kind of guy that gets his IKEA furniture, puts it all together, and then realizes a drawer is upside down and I have to take the entire thing apart. Oh, there's actually grooves in here that you have to lock them into. Oh, that makes it easier, actually. Hey! Oh, the yellow fell out. But yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. Okay, now we have to start screwing things back in. Oh man, I don't look forward to this part. I did it! I mean, kinda. I hope it's not broken. Don't think I broke it, I just think it makes a sound when you take it off. That didn't sound good though. So for those playing along at home, there's two little springs underneath the ZL button that kind of flew away from me, but I got it. Damn. I don't know if you guys want the good news or the bad news first. The good news is we have the first one done, and apart from one thing that I'm gonna talk about in a moment here, I think it looks really cool, and I'm almost happy about it. Here's the bad. Here's all the bad. A small bad is there's two small screws here. Not sure why they didn't go back in with the rest of the Joy-Con. I guess I used two screws somewhere where I was supposed to use these ones, and I used them instead. But the Joy-Cons themselves, the skins that I bought, they came with these screws. So I screwed them all the way in as tight as I could, and I didn't realize because I was screwing this way, they actually came back out the other side. I was filming for so long and I got so involved, I don't know if I actually recorded that part, of the camera stops recording at that part, but now I have these two holes here where I've actually screwed through and out of the case. If you're not really looking for it, you don't really notice it as far as like something that went wrong, but I do. It's all I can see, but I put it together right. So now I'm going to try turning on my switch. I can move left and right, up and down. I can go into hyperspace by clicking in the thumbstick, so that works all well. Let's try left trigger works well. So I did it. Honestly, if it wasn't for that one mistake, if I just knew I was screwing through to this other side, it would have been almost perfect. I did it, you know, I did it. And I'm kind of proud because I've never done anything like this before. I cannot do the right one right now. I'm gonna have to either go away and do it and come back, or film it another time, even if it's later tonight. I am exhausted. That was exhausting. So, whatever. For those that don't like the sight of blood, I would either minimize your window or close your eyes. I drilled into my finger. Having the drill on the table initially was a joke, but those tri-wing screws, they thread really easily, and two of them threaded, and I got really done. Like, there's the blood. I finished it, but I left out a part, so I had to open it back up again. And I got so done, I decided to try using a drill bit to... And I was putting a lot of pressure on it, and it slipped, and I drilled into my finger. Fortunately, I kind of drilled like up and out, but it's very swollen. My two biggest regrets was doing this in the first place, do not recommend, and deciding to not film the second Joy-Con, because I at least wish I had got that on film. Happy New Year! So this is now the next day, and I want to clarify something going into this second part of the video. I know when I sat down here, I kind of did a goof and a gaff where I had all of these crazy things that I wouldn't actually need for the video, and I did some funny ha-has, making it look like, yeah, I was kind of messing around. At no point was I being reckless. At no point was I using the drill in a stupid manner. This isn't really, that side of thing isn't a, well, what did you expect when you were messing around? Because none of that was ever going to hurt me. So what happened was, the second Joy-Con, I put everything back together and I left a part out. Nintendo used these screws in the first place because you have to go out and get a special screwdriver set for them. And most people aren't gonna have these lying around their house to prevent people actually opening up these things and breaking their stuff. And the next security measure is these things are so brittle that even if you get these screwdrivers, when you're trying to get them undone, there's a decent chance they're gonna thread themselves and they're gonna get locked into place. It's all a security measure to stop you actually getting in. And I managed to get them out well the first time on both, but I had to go back in both times. Now, of course, all of this happened off camera because this entire process took hours. Both my camera batteries died, the SD cards filled up just trying to shoot this friggin' thing. But I read online some fixes to get these dry screws out when they thread. You can use napkins, like these paper towels, or you can use elastic bands and try and just prop it in there with something to get more friction. None of that was working because they were all threaded. So my last resort was just to drill them out. And initially when I hurt myself, I wasn't sure what it was that had happened because one moment I'm drilling into my Switch, the next minute I'm drilling into my hand. While I figured it out after I looked at my drill later on, the drill bit was so thin, the one I was using, it actually snapped. I was putting too much pressure on it and my hand was just, you know, it's stupid the way I was holding it, but I was sort of propping it up like this and I was drilling like this and it snapped and I fell into my hand, and obviously it was still drilling and I drew it into my hand. As you can see, it kind of snapped off horrifically. There's a big sharp point on it and it kind of tore my finger up a little bit. But as you know, flesh and drill bits don't mix well. It wasn't a straight in and out, it was kind of a round and about, and it tore a decent sized hole. I don't know how much I can say and show without being demonetized, so I don't want to go into all the details, but the stuff that comes out of a human body when it gets injured, it came out a lot. That's probably the most of that stuff I have seen from me in my life. I've actually been pretty lucky to just not hurt myself. I'm usually not a clumsy person. The only time I've experienced anything that hurt more than that was when I got my knee operated on. I got home and I fell on it. So it wasn't me being stupid. Because my videos are very comedic and I was, you know, fumbling around. I want to clarify that because be responsible with power tools. Be responsible, especially if you're doing something like this. And for the most part, I was, again, just inexperienced. But here we go. I did it. I did it. And I was playing my Switch this morning to test to make sure everything was fine. Played it for an hour, a bunch of different games. It works perfectly. I did do it. I've successfully done it for what it's worth. Thank you. Appreciate you. I think it looks really, really, really nice. Now, against my better judgment, this is the second half of the video where I'm changing the Pro Controller. In hindsight, I kind of wish I got a better shell, like maybe a jungle green, but I thought this would be better for variety and something that you guys might like to see. One saving grace here is, unlike the Joy-Cons, this is supposed to be easy. Let's go back to having some fun while avoiding hurting my finger anymore, or any of my other fingers for that matter. Thanks for cleaning up all the stuff.
I missed this spot.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all over that thing. Yeah, it looks like Dexter should swing by. Let's try not to kill myself this time. Even Arlo was disappointed that I didn't get it on camera. When a friendly blue puppet. Yeah, I wanted to see the destruction. That's when you know you messed up.
You are going on a run.
Okay. I did it. I ended up using a tutorial for this one as well, but don't get me wrong, that's only because I had no idea what I was doing. But it only took like 20 minutes, apart from a couple screw-ups that I made that were just, again, stupid, inexperienced stuff. Yeah, I mean, they match. It's really nice. I mean, if Pokemon Let's Go is your thing, the colors match up perfectly. They did a really great job. Again, the only thing that I don't like about this one is, for some reason, there's no Eevee. I mean, Eevee is my favorite, so leaving off Eevee was silly. It was stupid. I would have preferred just an Eevee one. Hey, if you're looking to change your own skin on something, I would start with your Pro Controller, because yeah, that was a lot easier. So overall, I'm really happy with the end result. I love this. I adore this. Apart from that one thing that keeps bugging me, I adore this. This is adorable, and I know a lot of you are gonna love it. This was really simple. So if you're looking to change your Pro Controller, pretty simple. Follow a tutorial on your phone like I did. You won't have any problems. But for someone that's not good at this kind of stuff, that is inexperienced, that you can't even put together IKEA furniture all that well without screwing it up, I don't know if I would recommend diving straight into these Joy-Cons. I don't necessarily regret doing this because, hey, I got a story out of it. They look cool at the end. I have my video eventually. Not impossible, but it's tricky and it takes a while. It's kind of like Nintendo Labo. It's like building the piano for Labo, except the end result for this is actually fun to use. I broke my Switch. I fixed it in the end. I broke my finger. I fixed it in the end. If you like this video, make sure you hit flip all over that subscribe button. Click or tap on this video right here for more DIY Nintendo Switch. No, that's never gonna happen. For me to review some games like what I should be doing on this channel. Not messing with drills. Stay away from those.